I'm Mary Strong. Kai Beach will have your AccuWeather forecast coming up for you in just a bit. He's filling in for meteorologist Jerry Steffen this morning. But first, a look at your top stories. Liam Cantu, the 14-year-old La Quinta High School student that was hit by an alleged drunk driver in a hit and run, died over the weekend. Cantu was riding his bike with a friend back on October 10th when the two teens were hit. Liam was hospitalized and underwent major brain surgery. Late Friday evening, the Riverside County Sheriff's Office put out a release saying one of the victims had died. Liam's father, Jesus, posted to his social media page saying his son has entered heaven. The alleged hit-and-run driver is Jose Villegas Orbe of Palm Springs. Investigators say he was intoxicated the night of the crash and was allegedly involved in a prior hit-and-run earlier that night. He was also on probation for driving under the influence. Orbe was booked into the John Benoit Detention Center, where he's being held currently on $1 million bail. He's scheduled to make his next court appearance on December 17th. Over the weekend, the Indio Police Department began ramping up patrols in the downtown area because of a recent series of burglaries and vandalisms. The department did not say how many of the incidents have recently occurred, nor have they released specifics of those incidents, citing it's an ongoing investigation. They did, however, post several community notices encouraging the public to use Valley Crime Stoppers reporting systems if they see crime in progress. That number is right here on your screen. It's 760-341-7867. Well, yesterday morning, locals lined the streets of El Paseo for the 61st annual golf cart parade. Mark Mester and I were there. It was a gorgeous day. The parade was kicked off with a flyover and 3 parachuters landing on El Paseo, which was followed by a display of classic cars. Appearances by the parade grand marshal, our very own Tim O'Brien, alongside Fuego, who just happened to be right behind the cart where that Mark Mester and I were driving. Tons of amazing decorated golf carts. NBC Palm Springs streamed the entire event on our social media platforms, thanks to Pete Carlson of Pete Carlson's Golf and Tennis.
This is about close to 25 years we've been doing it, and it's a great tradition. And the city has started this out, I think, back in the end of the 60s or beginning of the 70s, and look what it's become. It's an amazing event. You can see booths all the way down to almost Highway 74 from here. It's amazing.
If you miss any of the parade, you can watch the entire broadcast on NBCPalmSprings.com. And just a month away, also taking place on El Paseo, is the 19th annual Martha's Village and Kitchen Thanksgiving 5K. It's scheduled for the morning of Thursday, November 27th. The goal of the 5K is to raise awareness about Martha's Village and Kitchen services and to provide funds to support their mission to end hunger and homelessness in the Coachella Valley. There's still time to sign up. Your Coachella Valley Firebirds are gearing up to hit the home ice again this week. On Thursday, they are going to head-to-head against the San Diego Gulls. Puck drops at 6:30. Your Birds are also partnering with the city of Indio for the first ever Indio Night. You can grab discounted tickets to the game through the city of Indio by using the QR code you see right here on your screen. For decades, a local nonprofit has been improving lives by pairing the visually impaired with loyal guide dogs, and now they need your help. NBC Palm Springs' Kai Beach has more on Guide Dogs of the Desert.
You have the privilege of changing lives, and along the way having a wonderful time.
At Guide Dogs of the Desert, these paws have the power to change lives. For more than 50 years, this whitewater nonprofit has been guiding the way, training and providing service dogs to people who are visually impaired around the world. And now they need our community's help.
Our urgent need right now is definitely puppy raisers.
Karen Gates is Director of Community Engagement. She says this nonprofit is looking for help to raise their future guide dogs.
We have to get these dogs trained and with their people before they reach about 10 weeks of age.
I feel like it's a privilege to be able to puppy raise because we get to take part in changing lives.
Lisa is a longtime volunteer puppy raiser and says while it's not a paid position, the joy and purpose it brings are priceless.
When you see the dogs and how they grow and change and the impact that they make, it's hard not to want to do this and make a difference.
To learn more or apply to become a puppy raiser, visit guidedogsofthedesert.org and help keep that life-changing power in motion, one paw at a time. I'm Kai Beach for NBC Palm Springs.
And we're going to head outside and take a live look from our Agua Caliente Casino camera in Palm Springs. Kai Beach is in the Weather Center with a look at your forecast for today. Kai?
Happy Monday, everyone. We're tracking warm weather to start your work week. We're going to see a high pressure system with weak Santa Ana winds. That's going to increase the winds, strengthen them. The windiest and the driest day, that looks like it's going to be on Wednesday. Now, we do have some high heat for Halloween, and we'll get there just a bit. As for today, let's look at the highs. We're looking at low 90s here on the valley floor. Up in Joshua Tree, we're looking at high 70s. Cabazon, bargain shopping, 86 degrees. Idlewild, about an hour drive away from here, low 70s. And in Big Bear City, we're looking at high 60s. Tonight in Big Bear, we're looking at 34 degrees. Idlewild, 47. Here on the valley floor, West End, Palm Springs, 64. East End, India, we're looking at 60 degrees. Our friends in 29 Palms, 58. Joshua Tree, just a little bit cooler. For tonight's morning walk, today we're looking at 6 a.m., 66 degrees. By 8 a.m., we're looking at 67. 10 o'clock starts to heat up just a bit. We're looking at 77. And at noon, we're at 83 degrees. A great day to go outside, have some fun, do some outdoor activities, and enjoy it. Peak heat today, that's going to happen around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that 91 degrees here in Palm Springs. 3-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Monday, we're looking at 91 degrees. For Tuesday and Wednesday, 96. And those overnight lows stay pretty consistent, high 60s to mid 60s. Full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Kai, thanks so much for that. Well, we wanted to remind you that early voting centers are now open for the California November 4th special election next week. The main proposition on the ballot this year is Proposition 50, which would allow for the drawing of new congressional districts throughout the state. The final day to register to vote by mail has already ended, but if you missed that deadline, you can still vote in this election through conditional voter registration. That will be through the November 4th election day. If you'd like more information, you can go to voteinfo.net. There you can find a comprehensive list with locations of voting sites as well as hours of operation. The Department of Justice says it's sending federal election monitors to polling sites in California and New Jersey ahead of November's special election. It's a move that's drawing both criticism and support from as questions grow about federal oversight at the state level. Orlando Campos joins us live in studio with more on that. Alondra.
That's right, Mary. Late last week, the Justice Department confirmed its Civil Rights Division will be deploying monitors to 6 jurisdictions across California and New Jersey, including here in Riverside County. While officials say it is about protecting voting rights and ensuring federal law is followed, others see it differently. The Department of Justice says the federal observers will be present in Kern, Fresno, Orange, Los Angeles, and Riverside counties in California. In a statement on the Department of Justice website, the Assistant Attorney General Carmit Dillon affirmed that transparent election processes and election monitoring are critical tools for safeguarding our elections and ensuring public trust in the integrity of our elections. On the other hand, Governor Gavin Newsom pushed back against the move, stating that this is not a federal election. The U.S. DOJ has no business or basis to interfere with this election. This is solely about whether California amends the state constitution. According to the DOJ, from now and up to Election Day, civil rights personnel will be available to receive questions and complaints from the public about possible voting rights violations. Coming up next, we'll take a deeper look into the DOJ's decision to send federal monitors to polling sites, including here in Riverside County, and tell you more about the Riverside County's Registrar of Voters' response to the decision. Live in studio, I'm Alondra Campos.
It's time now for Where in the Valley, where we show you a photo of a location somewhere in the Coachella Valley, and you guess where it is. So let me show you that photo. Take a look. Ooh, have you ever been up here? You'll have a little time to think about it. We're going to reveal this special location at the end of our broadcast, so I'll give you a small little hint before we get there. Coming up on your morning news, get your taste buds ready because it's time for Dish Detective. That's next, but a little later on, our Tim O'Brien introduces us to Firebirds defensive play Ty Nelson. Stay tuned for that. Let's head back outside. This time we're going to take a live look from our Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage. The sun's not quite up on this Monday morning. Kai's going to have your full weather forecast as we head into the work week. Stay right here.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
It's time now for Dish Detective. It's a little contest we're running on Instagram with local food reviewers dining with the Davids. They show you a video of some of the top dishes of a local restaurant and you guess that restaurant. It's on our Instagram page on NBC Palm Springs. If you guess the restaurant, you're entered into a drawing for a 100 gift card for that restaurant. Let's see if you can crack this case. Take a look.
It's the week of October 27th, and it's time to play Dish Detective. We've tracked 3 clues to a mystery restaurant somewhere in the Coachella Valley. Think you know where we are? Tag the business in the comments for a chance to win a $100 gift card to this establishment. The answer and the winner will be revealed on the Friday morning newscast on NBC Palm Springs. First up, strawberry Nutella banana crepes stacked with strawberry compote, fresh bananas, a drizzle of Nutella, and a light dusting of powdered sugar. Next, the Firehouse Scramble Skillet. Ham, bacon, and kielbasa tossed with peppers, onions, and tomatoes, topped with fluffy scrambled eggs and melted cheddar. And finally, a golden brown German pancake baked to perfection and served with lemon, butter, and powdered sugar. Think you've cracked the case? Drop your guess in the comments, and remember, only the sharpest taste buds solve the sweetest mysteries.
Ooh, looks so delicious. Well, you can find that video on our Instagram page, NBC Palm Springs. You'll have until noon on Thursday to guess it right. Don't forget to tag the restaurant you think it is and follow both Dining with the Davids and NBC Palm Springs on Instagram to qualify. We will reveal the winner on our Friday morning newscast. Good luck, detectives. It's time now for Your Health Today, brought to you by Inland Empire Health Plan. You may want to check your cabinets before you prepare your next meal. The Food and Drug Administration has identified more cookware that may be leaching lead into your food. The FDA originally issued the warning in August after it tested pots made by an Indian manufacturer. The updated warning includes brand names Tiger White, Silver Horse, Grain Market, Royal Kitchen, and Town Food Service Equipment. But some of the products are not branded. The cookware was sold in stores in California, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and in New Jersey. More information is available on the FDA website. You may not think much about your spine, but it supports your entire body, allowing you to move. It also protects the nervous system. But as we age, keeping the spine healthy gets a little more difficult because it can weaken or wear down over time. Mandy Gaither has ways to protect your spine and lessen the risk of major medical issues.
The simple things you may take for granted, like getting out of bed or walking your dog, are all made possible by your spine.
As we age, it's imperative to pay attention to how the spine actually changes.
Dr. Terrence Verla with Orlando Health Neuroscience Institute says as we age, spine health gets harder to maintain and can lead to limitations in our mobility and affect quality of life. To protect spinal health, he says have a healthy diet with foods rich in vitamin D and calcium that can help strengthen bones and keep your body physically fit through exercise and by maintaining a healthy weight. He also says posture is important.
It helps keep the spinal column neutral and evenly redistributes the load in a way that can maintain a healthy spine and a healthy lifestyle.
Verla says one of the most common spinal conditions later in life is degenerative scoliosis. As joints wear down, it can create a curvature in the spine.
Those patients could have back pain, pain shooting down their legs, numbness, tingling, and sometimes even weakness.
If you have any of those symptoms, Verla says to see a doctor, as early detection and treatment can help keep the condition from progressing.
It is a reason to at least consult with your primary care provider, who can order all the necessary tests or just a simple x-ray to figure out, what's going on.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you'd like more information on the stories we're airing in our broadcast this morning, you can go to our new website, NBCPalmSprings.com. You're going to find our top stories and breaking news right there on our homepage in our newsroom tab, where all of our stories and community events are organized by date. Let's head outside, take a live look at your Agua Caliente casino camera in Palm Springs. Kai Beach is going to break down your full 7-day forecast. Stay right here.
All right, everyone, happy Halloween week. We are looking at a warm Halloween week, temperatures slightly above average, so make sure you're drinking plenty of water out there. We're going to see a heat advisory run through the middle of the week, though that could be extended. We've got a high pressure system with some weak Santa Ana winds. That's going to make conditions dry and warm over the next few days. As for today, let's take a look at those highs. On the valley floor, we're looking at low 90s. Up the hill, Joshua Tree, high 70s. Idlewild, 72 degrees. And if you want to go to Big Bear, look at that. That's a cool 67 degrees. For that peak heat today, it's going to happen around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperatures will start to drop as we go into the evening hour. Tonight's lows. Wow. Take a look at Indio, 60, Palm Springs, 64, Joshua Tree getting down to 54. Big Bear City just around freezing, 34 degrees. And Idlewild, that seems comfortable, 47 degrees. For tonight's evening stroll, 6 o'clock. It's going to be a nice time to go outside and do something fun. 83 degrees, 8 o'clock, high 70s. By 10 o'clock, we're looking at the mid 70s. And at midnight, 72 degrees. More people are coming to our beautiful desert community. A lot of people coming from out of state. This is the weather that they're leaving behind. Denver, 68 degrees. Dallas, Texas, 73. Atlanta, Georgia, the city too busy to hate, 61. Met some people from Minneapolis, Minnesota the other day. They're looking at 64. Our friends from Seattle, a cool 49. And in the Bay Area, 65 degrees. For Wednesday, that's when temperatures really start to ramp up. Take a look at this. Palm Springs, 96 degrees. Thousand Palms, just under triple digits. 29 Palms, just under 90. Banning and Cabazon, both 91. And in Idlewild, they're getting up there as well, 81 degrees. 7-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Monday, 91 degrees. That's how we're starting off this work week. Tuesday, Wednesday, 96. And Halloween on Friday, we're looking around 95 degrees. Those overnight lows stay pretty consistent, mid to high 60s.
The Firebirds' fourth season is in full swing, and the world's biggest Firebirds fan and professional hype man, Tim O'Brien, has been following all the action on our NBC Palm Springs exclusive show, Off the Ice. New episodes air weekly on Sundays. In this episode, we introduce you to defenseman Ty Nelson. Take a look.
Yeah, I'm Ty Nelson. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, and I started playing hockey, before I could walk. I think I was skating at 2 and played my first game when I was 4. My dad always tells me the story of just where, I was just little getting on the ice and I fell and he was kind of scared. He was like, oh, it might have hurt and then he's not gonna want to play anymore or anything. And I was just smiling and then got up and started skating again, just wanted to keep going. And I remember for the longest time I could only push off on one leg. And then I had a coach that taught me how to push off on both. So like it was just always that, love, and I always wanted to get better, and it's just something I've enjoyed since day one. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, in Toronto, there's a really good setup for minor hockey. There's this league called the GTHL, which I played in my whole way up, and it's amazing. I mean, you get to meet so many people. You get to play for different teams, different coaches, and you get to learn different systems and that sort of stuff. And it was amazing. I mean, I loved my time in junior hockey, and I was lucky enough I only spent it with 2 teams, and I loved every second of it. Just personally being able to get back out and play in front of the fans, firstly, because I think we got one of the best fan bases in the league, and just for myself, just gonna come out and try and show another level, and always try and take a step every year. And I just want to come out and play my best hockey and do whatever I can to help the team win, and just try and further my development as a player. And like I said, it's just when the team's doing well, you're doing well successfully individually, and the main goal is furthering the team and bettering myself every day for the team and trying to win for the team. For myself, I've always just kind of naturally tried to be a leader. And for myself, I know a big thing from the club and from Seattle is they want me to come back and be a bigger leader and be a bigger part of the leadership, that we have in the room, that we already have in the room, and just try to, be an ear for those younger guys and try and listen to them. And if I can help them out in any way, whether it's, on or off the ice, again, in the rink, away from the rink, anything that I can help them out with, I'm going to try and help them out. And I know for myself that I had amazing veterans last year, and they really took me underneath their wing and taught me everything that I needed to know, and really tried to help me. And they also made every day enjoyable. And I think that's something I really want to try and do, is because, for myself at least, I know is when I'm coming to the rink and I'm having fun, I'm playing my best hockey, and I want everybody to feel like that. You only get one first season in the AHL, and you want to enjoy it. You want to make it a memorable one. So just trying to be, an open ear, or if they need someone to talk to, they can always come to me, and just try to lead by example and show, you got to put 110% every day in this league, because it's not an easy one. So just trying to be, an ear, a voice, and anything I can do to help them out. There's many words to describe it, and just, trying to sum it down to only a few is that, win, lose, or draw, we're going to give it our best effort every night. And, we're going to have one of the tightest groups I think you can see is in just going off last year. We had such a tight group, and everybody had fun and enjoyed hanging out with each other. And that's something we want to carry on into this year. And I know, when you're bonding with your teammates and having fun, that also helps your on-ice performance as well. So like I said, just, being compassionate and supporting each other, and just going out there and giving it our all every night.
Yay. Well, to catch that full episode of Off the Ice under our program page of our website, NBCPalmSprings.com, there are new episodes every Sunday. We'll be right back with Know Before You Go and a look at some more local headlines. Stay right here.
Palm Springs.
Good Monday morning to you. Welcome back. I'm Mary Strong. We'll have your AccuWeather forecast coming up in just a few minutes for you. But first, it's time for Know Before You Go, where we tell you about all the major construction projects going on in the Valley for the week so you can avoid getting caught in traffic and know before you go. Joining us live from the CV Sync Traffic Management Center in Thousand Palms is Program Manager Chris Gunterson. Good morning, Chris. Happy Monday to you. It looks like you're getting settled into your new digs there.
Good morning, Mary. Yes, happy Monday. Things are we finally unpacked our last box, so I think we're starting to get settled in. But we got things are starting to calm down in terms of construction. What we're going to start today is in the city of Indio. If you use Indio Boulevard as your route to get around, pay attention here. I'm sure you're all already aware of it, but at the intersection of Indio Boulevard and Fred Waring Drive, there was an accident there last week that took out the power pedestal. So they're repoured the foundation. I think the equipment came in late last week, so you should see crews out there getting that repaired. Right now you have stop signs out there. There's no lights, so it is going to be darker at night. And when you get to the intersection, make sure you treat it as a stop sign. They should have stop signs out on every lane, but again, take your time there. I don't think there's no need to take an alternate route. It's just a little bit of a slowdown. So just be careful as you go through there. Keep distractions away from and pay attention to the road. Next, we're going to talk about the 3 intersections in Cathedral City on East Palm Canyon. This is for the shopping center that's going in there. We have 3 signals, and what we're looking at there is new traffic control in terms of new phasing at the intersection. Right now, they're working on punch list items and the landscaping. So they're going to have the number 3 lane, which is the outside lane. If you're traveling eastbound, that's going to be closed down. But no need for an alternate route here. Just want to make sure everybody's aware that there is new phasing going on there, and also a lot of traffic control. So just be careful as you go through there. And last but definitely not least, this project's been going on for a while in Palm Desert, and this is the Cook Street project that's on heading up there from the Wash all the way up to Hoveley Lane. Now, the construction itself should be wrapping up here this week, the 31st on Halloween, so that's good news. However, they are now going to start repaving the road. After all that damage to the road, they're going to repair it with the paving. You can expect that to last a few weeks. Again, your alternate route for this one is going to be Monterey or Portola. So with that going on, our safety tip for the week is season approaches. We got a lot more people coming back to the Valley, the holiday season. So plan your route, eliminate distractions, and obviously you want to slow down, leave early, and put the phone down, slow down, and all that good stuff I say every week. But again, we're going to start getting a lot of people here in the desert, so it's going to get busy. So that's it for this week.
All right. Thanks so much. It's always good to see you, Chris. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday.
Thank you.
In other news this morning, the special election is coming up next week on Tuesday, November 4th. Early voting centers are now open. The main proposition on the ballot this year is Proposition 50, which would allow for the drawing of new congressional districts throughout the state. The final day to register to vote by mail has already passed, but you can still vote on this election through conditional voter registration before or on November 4th. For more information, you can go to voteinfo.net. There you can find a comprehensive list of voting sites as well as hours of operation. Well, as our Alondra Campos mentioned earlier in our broadcast, the Department of Justice is sending federal election monitors to polling sites in California and New Jersey ahead of November's special election. She joined us for more on that. Alondra?
That's right, Mary. It's a decision that was announced late last week. The Justice Department confirmed that its Civil Rights Division will be deploying monitors to 6 jurisdictions, including here in Riverside County. And while officials say it is about protecting voting rights and ensuring federal law is followed, others see it differently. The Department of Justice says the federal observers will be present in Kern, Fresno, Orange, Los Angeles, and Riverside counties in California. In a statement on the Department of Justice website, the Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon affirmed that, quote, transparent election processes and election monitoring are critical tools for safeguarding our elections and ensuring public trust in the integrity of our elections, end quote. On the other hand, Governor Gavin Newsom pushed back against the move, stating that, quote, this is not a federal election. The U.S. DOJ has no business or basis to interfere with this election, end quote. According to the DOJ, from now and up to Election Day, civil rights personnel will be available to receive questions and complaints from the public about possible voting rights violations. We reached out to the Riverside County Voter of Registrar's office for comment on the move, and they stated, quote, the County of Riverside Register of Voters ballot processing facility is open for election observation, either in person or through live stream cameras. They are committed to conducting elections that are accurate, transparent, and fair, end quote. So the move comes as voters are already casting ballots on Proposition 50, Governor Gavin Newsom's proposal to redraw the state's congressional districts to favor Democrats. And as we previously mentioned earlier in the newscast, early in-person voting is already underway, Mary.
So why did the DOJ, what prompted them to send folks to the polling sites?
Yeah, so the DOJ is deploying these federal monitors days after Republican officials from both the state of California and the state of New Jersey raised concerns about, possible voter fraud in recent elections. And so they believe that the DOJ's involvement will prevent voter fraud or, the violation of voter rights. And so these are Republicans that claim that in very Democrat-leaning states.
Got it. And does anybody specifically request this?
Yes, in the state of California, it was the California Republican Party.
Okay, interesting. And do we know any reaction from this from the polling sites at all? Have you spoken to anybody?
Yeah, so we reached out to the Riverside County Register of Voters office twice now, and they sent very similar statements in that, their voting processes are open to the public, both through their live stream cameras and in person. And that also includes to federal officials. Now, yes, it's drawn a lot of pushback from, local leaders like Governor Gavin Newsom, or even in New Jersey, like their attorney general, saying that, they claim that federal interference in statewide elections don't have a role.
Okay, well, it's going to be a very interesting voting day on next Tuesday. Thank you so much for that update. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a live look from our Agua Caliente Casino camera in Palm Springs. The sun is finally up on this beautiful Monday morning. Kai's in the Weather Center with a look at your forecast for today.
Happy Monday, everyone. We're tracking warm weather to start your work week. We're going to see a high pressure system with weak Santa Ana winds. That's going to increase the winds, strengthen them. The windiest and the driest day, that looks like it's going to be on Wednesday. Now, we do have some high heat for Halloween, and we'll get there just a bit. As for today, let's look at the highs. We're looking at low 90s here on the valley floor. Up in Joshua Tree, we're looking at high 70s. Cabazon, bargain shopping, 86 degrees. Idlewild, about an hour drive away from here, low 70s. And in Big Bear City, we're looking at high 60s. Tonight in Big Bear, we're looking at 34 degrees. Idlewild, 47. Here on the valley floor, West End, Palm Springs, 64. East End, India, we're looking at 60 degrees. Our friends in 29 Palms, 58. Joshua Tree, just a little bit cooler. For tonight's morning walk, today we're looking at 6 a.m., 66 degrees. By 8 a.m., we're looking at 67. 10 o'clock starts to heat up just a bit. We're looking at 77. And at noon, we're at 83 degrees. A great day to go outside, have some fun, do some outdoor activities, and enjoy it. Peak heat today, that's going to happen around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that 91 degrees here in Palm Springs. 3-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Monday, we're looking at 91 degrees. For Tuesday and Wednesday, 96. And those overnight lows stay pretty consistent, high 60s to mid 60s. Full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Kai, thanks so much. Well, President Trump is in Japan this morning for the next stop on his 3-country Asia tour. It's all leading up to a highly anticipated meeting with China's president. NBC's Alice Barr has details now from Washington.
President Trump arriving in Japan this morning for the second leg of his Asia tour. The president meeting with Japan's emperor before talks later with the country's first female prime minister. The trip set to culminate in a meeting Thursday in South Korea with Chinese President Xi Jinping amid an apparent breakthrough in high-stakes trade talks.
I think we're going to have a successful transaction. for both countries.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on NBC's Meet the Press announcing a framework for a trade deal to avoid President Trump's threatened 100% tariff increase on Chinese imports to the U.S.
I believe we've reached a very substantial framework that will avoid that.
Inking a deal would help to wind down the trade war between the world's two biggest economies, while at the same time tensions ratcheting up with one of America's closest allies.
Canada has been ripping us off for a long time. One of the most difficult countries to deal with has been Canada.
President Trump doubling down on slapping an additional 10% tariff on goods coming in from Canada because of an anti-tariff Government of Ontario TV ad featuring segments edited from a 1987 radio address by President Reagan.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
The ad ran during the World Series over the weekend, but Ontario's premier says it will stop today. No meeting over the weekend when Canada's Prime Minister and President Trump were both in Malaysia for a trade summit, leaving a mixed picture on trade as American businesses and consumers wait for the impact on prices at home. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has departed for a trip to Hawaii. He will stop there and in Japan before flying to Malaysia for meetings with defense chiefs during a session of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. From Malaysia, Hegseth will go to Vietnam for talks with leaders in the nation that the United States is seeking to win over in an effort to counter the expanding influence of China. The final stop for Secretary Hegseth will be in South Korea for meetings with South Korean and U.S. defense military and other leaders. Former President Joe Biden received an award at the Edward M. Kennedy Institute on Sunday night. It was the 10th anniversary of the celebration. Biden delivered remarks following his award, talking about how the United States politics are broken and how we must do better in this country.
We remain in the battle for the soul of our nation, in my view. And that means we, all of us, and I mean all of us, have an enormous responsibility to protect the institutions upon which the fate of our nation rests. No one is exempt from responsibility. No one gets a pass on standing up to the bullies and standing firm against the threats.
Well, some other honorees included former U.S. Labor Secretary and Boston Mayor Martin J. Walsh. It's time now for a look at your business headlines with CNBC's Contessa Brewer.
Wall Street is pointed toward a higher open ahead of a big week for the markets. We get earnings from Microsoft, Meta, Alphabet, Apple, and Amazon. Whew. The Federal Reserve is holding a two-day policy meeting and expected to cut interest rates. Plus, President Trump is scheduled to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea. So we're getting a lot of trade headlines there. The market's coming off a positive week with the Dow, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500 up about 1%. And many U.S. companies will try to avoid raising prices in the coming months, even as costs mount and profits get squeezed. A new survey of business economists shows more than half say costs are rising at their firms in the third quarter. They also say employment rose rather than fell this past quarter, but a majority see no changes in hiring in the next 3 months. OpenAI is working on a new tool to generate music based on text and audio prompts. The information reports the tool could be used to add music to existing videos or vocal tracks. OpenAI is working with some students at Juilliard to train the AI tool. It's not clear when the company would launch that tool or if it will be a standalone product. With your CNBC Morning Business Report, I'm Contessa Brewer.
Well, earlier we showed you a photo of a location somewhere in the Coachella Valley, and I told you I'd show you that photo again and give you a little hint before we reveal the location at the end of our broadcast. So here's the photo. Here's the hint. You can find this slide in Indian Wells. Think about it. We'll tell you more about this special location coming up later on. Next on your morning news, we take a look at what movies came out on top at the box office this weekend. You might be surprised. But first, we're going to head back outside for a live look at our Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage. Kai Beach will break down your full 7-day forecast for you straight ahead.
All right, everyone, happy Halloween week. We are looking at a warm Halloween week, temperatures slightly above average, so make sure you're drinking plenty of water out there. We're going to see a heat advisory run through the middle of the week, though that could be extended. We got a high pressure system with some weak Santa Ana winds. That's going to make conditions dry and warm over the next few days. As for today, let's take a look at those highs. On the valley floor, we're looking at low 90s. Up the hill, Joshua Tree, high 70s. Idlewild, 72 degrees. And if you want to go to Big Bear, look at that. That's a cool 67 degrees. For that peak heat today, it's going to happen around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperatures will start to drop as we go into the evening hour. Tonight's lows. Wow. Take a look at Indio, 60, Palm Springs, 64, Joshua Tree getting down to 54. Big Bear City just around freezing, 34 degrees. In Idlewild, that seems comfortable, 47 degrees. For tonight's evening stroll, 6 o'clock. It's going to be a nice time to go outside and do something fun. 83 degrees, 8 o'clock, high 70s. By 10 o'clock, we're looking at the mid 70s. And at midnight, 72 degrees. More people are coming to our beautiful desert community. A lot of people coming from out of state. This is the weather that they're leaving behind. Denver, 68 degrees. Dallas, Texas, 73. Atlanta, Georgia, the city too busy to hate, 61. Met some people from Minneapolis, Minnesota the other day. They're looking at 64. Our friends from Seattle, a cool 49. And in the Bay Area, 65 degrees. For Wednesday, that's when temperatures really start to ramp up. Take a look at this. Palm Springs, 96 degrees. Thousand Palms, just under triple digits. 29 Palms, just under 90. Banning and Cabazon, both 91. And in Idlewild, they're getting up there as well, 81 degrees. 7-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Monday, 91 degrees. That's how we're starting off this work week. Tuesday, Wednesday, 96. And Halloween on Friday, we're looking around 95 degrees. Those overnight lows stay pretty consistent, mid to high 60s.
And now, NBC Palm Springs Sports with Caitlin Kelly, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
Welcome back, everyone. With only 2 weeks left in the Desert Empire League football season, all eyes are on La Quinta and Palm Desert ahead of the flag game this coming Friday. Both La Quinta and Palm Desert won their games this past Friday, and since Palm Desert beat Palm Springs, it opened things up and makes things very interesting heading into the end of the season. If Palm Springs had stayed undefeated, they would have been able to win the DEL outright. But with Friday's loss, the league gets opened up with chances for both Palm Desert and La Quinta to get a piece of the league championship title. Of course, our NBC Palm Springs sports team will have full coverage of Friday's flag game between LQ and PD, so stay tuned for that. And in hockey news, the Coachella Valley Firebirds hit the ice yesterday against the Calgary Wranglers. It was the second game of a back-to-back after the Firebirds won a thriller in overtime, but the second game wouldn't have the same outcome. Despite a late goal in the third period from Oscar Molgaard, the Birds fell to the Wranglers 4-3. The Firebirds play next at home against the San Diego Gulls this Friday, but if you don't want to wait that long to get your fill of all things Firebirds, be sure to check out the latest episode of Firebirds Off the Ice, hosted by our very own Tim O'Brien. The latest episode can be found on our website on NBCPalmSprings.com. That'll do it for sports.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Entered the box office battle this weekend, hoping to knock off the reigning champ, and one of them did. David Daniel has the early estimates for the top 5 films in theaters now.
I would like you to meet Ares, the ultimate soldier.
Tron Ares fell 3 spots to 5th place on ticket sales of $4.9 million.
This is a highly unorthodox career move. That's the point.
Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, debuted in 4th place with $9.1 million.
It feels like there's this wall between her and me.
You remember that age? Everything felt so complicated.
Colleen Hoover's Regretting You opened in 3rd place, taking in $12.9 million.
Dead is just a word.
Black Phone 2 fell to 2nd place, adding $13 million for a 10-day domestic total of $49 million. The anime adventure Chainsaw Man the Movie Reze Arc is the new #1, debuting with $17.3 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, they're doubling up tonight on NBC's The Voice. The final battles are wrapping up and the opening knockouts will begin. And a couple of new mega mentors will help the artists. Mark Barger has details.
It'll be a rousing wrap-up to the battle rounds tonight on The Voice.
Who's the winner of this battle?
And as soon as that final choice is made,
make it your own. And then you need to take that growl to 10. Okay. I feel like everything else is dope.
Grammy winner Zach Brown joins Snoop Dogg and Michael Bublé as a mega mentor for the knockout round.
It reminds me a lot of myself when I was trying to find my way as an artist.
That's why Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Joe Walsh checks in with Reba, as well as Niall Horan.
I think we're gonna have to bring the dynamics of the band and everything down for the softer part, because I'm a writer, so I want to hear the lyrics. I want to hear every note, every moment of what's happening.
Brown says the hustle and perseverance artists show after The Voice will determine how far they go.
Nobody's gonna come and make you famous. You need to be willing to win those people over one room at a time and earn those fans. And there's really no shortcut to doing that.
Playing that long game helped him and his Zach Brown band.
Definitely hit a bunch of walls and ran through them and kept going.
An upcoming residency at the Las Vegas Sphere will push the band's envelope.
Everything I have is on the line for this show.
Some of the artists on The Voice knockout rounds might feel the very same way. Mark Barger, NBC Entertainment.
Let's take a live look now at our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. We're going to be right back with a reveal of your Where in the Valley special location. Stay right here. You're watching NBC Palm Springs in the morning. It's time now to reveal our special location for our broadcast today. Did you guess where this is? Maybe gone down this slide a few times? Well, it's at the Grand Hyatt Indian Wells Resort off Indian Wells Lane. It's a kid and pet-friendly hotel and features 7 pools, tennis facilities, and an award-winning spa. Well, the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree has started its journey to Washington, D.C. The 53-foot red fir was harvested from the Carson Ranger District on Friday. The tree named Silver Bell will make stops at parades, festivals, and community gatherings across Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kentucky before arriving on the west lawn of the U.S. Capitol. Look at that tree go. Well, that does it.